Hi all. Right, welcome back. Action Kharkov, German Soul, Part 15. Um, yeah, just managed to get Part 14 kind of put together. It's a bit messed up. I've got a bit of it, and then, well, I dare say if you're watching this, you might have watched 14 already. Probably going to have a couple of bits in the header. Yeah, that was hard work. And like I say, you didn't see the half of it, to be honest. Which is maybe just as well because the bit that's there kind of probably rambles on a bit as well. I get kind of hyped up about some of the moves that end up happening. I mean, the fact these third tank units all gather around this unit. Like I conclude, it's not a bad thing to do, but it just shows you how that 9.25 can change the rules a bit. You know, it can mess with the rules quite a bit. Um, yeah, I mean, three. I can see three units there that were meant to be around this VP hex, and they're elsewhere. So anyway, we've done that enough, Grant. Okay, well, I came up. I thought it's a bit late at night. I was a bit feeling a bit tired, and I thought I'm maybe not going to bother. And then thought, well, I'll have a look at what I'm going to do next. And I weighed my cards out for German Impulse, and I'm looking, and I'm like, right, and I spent about 5, maybe even 10 minutes looking at what I thought I might be wanting to do next, and then kind of forgot that this is sitting in the command box now, the command card box. So it's not my shot yet, and in fact, it is Mobile Group Pop Off. So this could be a turn by itself, to be honest, a part by itself. So well, actually, that from 6 plus they would replace a point, but we're not there. We're only on turn 2. So activate all units in mobile group pop off. That's what they're going to do. So I thought I might as well just move on and see if I can get this. Whether I'll get right through it tonight or not. I might cut halfway through here. We'll see how it's going, but we'll get started. Okay, so activate mobile group pop off. They've spread out a little bit now. I've got unit down here. These three all reduced actually. 1 step units down here. And then this. No reserves. No auxiliary card in the now because this was an auxiliary card from the previous impulse. Now their front objective. Assuming we can find the proper front objective. Grant, yes. Southwest front objective, yes. That's for them, not for them. Okay, yeah. Right. So there's not a southwest front unit in it. It's not a German unit in and roundabout. So is an approximate to it from the southwest front. No, there's not a gap through here. Yeah. Well, I'm saying there's not any gaps being opened up. There is here now. These are broke through. So, and obviously this is the area I was looking about. What can I do here? Starting to panic, thinking. Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I've got a second SS card in my hand, so I mean, I clearly can't really move that guy away. And look, let's deal with the Soviets for now, Grant. Sure, you'll have time to talk about that later. So there's nothing proximate to the southwest front objective. So it's just going to stay put, and we're going to look and see what they're going to do. Okay, so first movement method, there's one, take a VP hex. Where am I here? Sorry. Yeah, take a VP hex. I don't think there's going to be any of that, is there? Like I say, there's again the line is still holding apart from that area down there with third tank, so everyone's still intact here. And this guy was solid in the last attack. Now he might be receiving more of the same this turn. This impulse as well. So yeah, there's no German VP hexes that they can stroll into, or or map edge VP hexes that they can reach as well. Okay, so moving on to step 2, movement method 2, and this is the one that took up all the time of the third tank and made a mess of. So hopefully we get it right this time. It's only because I was well, it's actually not only because I was staring at the wrong objective. There was 2 or 3 other things that I got caught up in. One of them being that like I say, the very first preference is targeted exclusively by the active front, and the fact that this was a consideration, and this is not targeted exclusively, it's targeted by both fronts. So that'll need to be a little bit added in the header, because that turns up in the end of part 13, never mind 14. That's where I start thinking it's only when I move into turn 14 I realise that. However, okay. Right, can we move adjacent to German VP hex and near our objective? So move to a hex closer to or within 4 hexes of the unit's objective marker and adjacent to a German VP hex. Well, probably not. I mean, it was easier for the third tank because they had an option, but as for Popov, well, the only one being could be, because there's not a gap there, is there? Oh, there is, yeah. No. Yeah. They can get to here. They can get to here, Grant. Yeah. And, well, of course, because that was what... but then that's not exclusively... Well, it doesn't matter. So here's the thing I'm going to have to find out, because I'm saying this could be a potential target too, but it just does say Vornes front only, right? See if there's something in the rules about that, Grant. Because the rule just says move to a hex closer to or within 4 hexes of the unit's objective marker and adjacent to a German VP hex. It doesn't say anything there about, like, but then maybe that's built into the rules somewhere. So, give me a sec. Okay, being on pause there a wee while, I was looking to see if I can maybe just get... I started thinking, well, I'll post a question about this, but just to know that the fact that these victory point hexes, I mean, this is targeted exclusively for the southwestern front, but does that mean with the movement method 2 I can't consider that? I mean, I know I'm just looking across here, but it's not, does it mean I can't consider that? Targeted exclusively by the active front is just a preference. So if this was the only one that I could maybe move adjacent to, then my thinking was that, okay, it's not targeted exclusively by that, but we move on to the next one, next preference. It's not telling me I can't. I mean, the title of the movement method is adjacent to German VP hex and near objective. It's not really saying. And then I was looking at the definitions of front target. Most VP and village hexes are marked as a target for the Vornes or southwest front. Some hexes are targeted for both fronts, while others are targeted for neither front. Soviet units tend, right, that's the word tend there, Soviet units tend to move to hexes targeted for the front and avoid hexes targeted for the other front. Now that's all one sentence that. Here's Grant trying to understand some English again. But my thinking of that is that tend is part of the whole sentence. So Soviet units tend to move to hexes targeted for the front, and I want to add another tend in there, and tend to avoid hexes targeted for the other front. I mean, the word's not in there, but I'm just kind of thinking, like I say, I'm not, when it comes to a lot of these things, I'm not that smart with things like that. But my thinking of it is, that 10 means that, like, yeah, normally that's what they'll do, but it's not saying they can't. It's not saying they can't do it, or they have to do it, or they are, you know, not allowed to do it, or yeah. Okay, so I went and looked on BGG. I'm thinking maybe someday, because I played the Soviet solo first, so there might be some questions out there, but I couldn't see anybody asking something like that. And then I thought it's probably a daft question to ask, because I feel like I'm allowed to do it. So, well, we're going to go with that, so we'll find out. And that going with that is what I mean. Sorry, going in and out there, I think. Mean that yes, I know I can go for this one because it's got a bit of both. Okay, it's not exclusive, so if there was a preference, it was just Southwest Front, I would look at that. But I'm also going to consider Chugayev as well, because now it might mean that I'm maybe not moving to Chugayev, because there's my front objective, as we well know. So I'm probably unlikely to go that way, and more than likely going to come down to Zimyev. But you never know, some of them... well, in fact, no, Chugayev's one... No. Yeah, if I moved into there... This is full, this has got 3 units in it. If I moved into there, 1, 2, 3, 4... So that's actually 4 hexes away. So it doesn't need... These don't need to be ending nearer if they're within 4 hexes. Yeah, that's a bit of a... Maybe I should ask the question. I sure it would be something in the rules telling you were, you know, completely not allowed to do that. And that's not to say that it's not here, I'm just not finding it. Okay, and as I said that, I'm flicking through the pages, and from the back of the book, page 43, 14.11, Soviet front targets. Most city and town hexes are marked with a symbol indicating that the hex is a target for the Soviet front, Voronezh front, or Southwest front, or both. Target symbols affect some Soviet movement methods and placement procedures. Target symbols. It's meaning the symbols and the key up there. I'm not quite sure. Target symbols affect some Soviet movement methods and placement procedures. Target symbols do not generally prevent entry by Soviet units of the other front and have no effect on ownership. Yeah, that's not really helping me, I feel. Target symbols do not generally prevent entry. No, I'm going to go with what I'm thinking, and the fact that, yes, it's saying try and go for one that's exclusively, but if it's a mixture of both, or if it's even for the other front, wait a minute. Yeah, I thought I'd read on and see if I can find something that says, Movement Method 5 says, move to an empty or garrison Soviet VP hex targeted for the active front. So that is saying that it's got to be targeted for the active front. So right now, if I was to try and move by that movement method with mobile group Popov, I would not be able to target Chugayev. So I think that clears it up for me, and the fact that wording is not there sort of preventing me from targeting the non-active front, which is kind of what that Chugayev is. It's non-active front. So, okay, I'm going to go with that. We're going to take a chance, and because I thought we'd be here all night. I didn't have that much time, but I thought I might be able to sneak this impulse on. So, yes, we're going to do that. Okay, so movement method 2, we're trying to move adjacent to a German VP hex. So yeah, the thing with that is both the targets. This is not exclusively Southwest, and neither is Chugayev. So they're both just the same. Well, mind you, Zimiev has 0 strength and Chugayev has 5 strength, so this is clearly going to be the target. Plus, it's more than likely they're going to get closer to their objective coming down this way. Okay, Grant. Right, move on. Right, I'll keep the front objective in line there, and we'll right, what have we got here? This is 13 and 17. These three guys have taken hits. Let's say 18-4. We've got number 1 away back up here, though. Yeah, he's probably unlikely to be doing anything, I think. But, well, not with that movement method. Yeah, he cannot get any. And these are the only 2 that we can move adjacent to. Yeah, because even moving across to Volchans, which is getting a bit silly, like, to be honest. This hex is fully stacked, and it's only hex that we can be adjacent to at the moment. But yeah, that's far too far out of there. And so this unit would have to come away round, and it's far too far. So who would be next? Well, we've got number 4 here as well. He's next, and maybe unlikely as well, because it looks like he's going to have to back up 1, 2 into there to start with, and then 3, 4, 5, yeah, 6. Yeah, he's not able to get down as well. Okay. There must be more third tank units than there are Popov, isn't there? It certainly feels it. I'm looking about and I wonder if there's any missing, but maybe they're more spread out. Okay, so 1 and 4 is not working. So next would be 13. He might be able to do something, actually. Yeah, he's not able to either, because he can't come through here. We've got this Rouse unit here. So he'd have to go 1, 2, breaking zone of control, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is the furthest he can get down as well. Underneath that is 17, which is infantry. That's not going to fare any better. Yeah, we're maybe not going to get any of this happening. Well, these 3 guys you would think might be. 18 again is further back. He's got to come around as well. So 20 then. Right, that's a mech unit. So it looks like he can get down somewhere. Okay, we've got something at last then. And he can't get down. Remember, this house is full, so he can't get down into Chugayev. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it's another 3 to get across there. So it needs 7 movement, because it's 2 to cross the river and 1 into the hex. And like we've said, that's only hex available for units. However, he can get down to this hex, and yeah, he's just going to do that, isn't he? Now, yeah, again, yeah, I was not considering that earlier on. It's maybe just as well that part got scrapped, because I'm sure I moved some units down to Zimiev as well. Completely oblivious to the fact that I was thinking about 9.25 and thinking about the actual VP hex. There's no German unit in the VP hex, Grant. This is a German unit. So these are the hexes that we need to consider. Okay, so unit 21, 2, 3, 4, and he reaches there 5. That's where he moved from. Okay, so that's his only hex. Not broken anything up there that I can see. He's not broke surround on anything. Not opened anything up to proximity. Right, okay, so that's only hex he can reach. It's adjacent to a VP, German VP hex. He has moved closer to his objective. He's now just 2 hexes away, where he was like, I don't know, 5 hexes away, something. 6 hexes even. So that's fine there. However, now once he reaches there, he's then got to consider 9.25, our favourite rule. Yeah, I mean, I like it as a rule. I like the way the things it does. What we need to know is, I think, how to go about each step, because I think that's think we are getting a bit muddled, and I think everybody's thinking different things and noticing that, yeah, you can, this looks like the way to go, but if this happens, you're kind of, yeah, anyway. Okay, so 9.25 then. Operational, right, cause surround. No, and we're talking, I think we're only talking about this hex and this hex. So, yeah, we can't get in there, we can't get in there. Okay, yeah, so we're only talking about the possibility of them adjusting to there. So it's maybe unlikely, right enough. Actually, no, it's likely. Because at the moment he's adjacent to a Soviet unit. There, he's not going to be adjacent to a Soviet unit. So, strange goings on again then. But, like I say, we're sticking with it now. We've dived in this way, so... so where are we? I'm looking at the wrong bit. So, no surround, a hex and Soviet support. Yeah, a hex not occupied by or adjacent to a Soviet unit between these two. And you can see this is adjacent to a Soviet unit, and this is not. So, as from going to wanting to be adjacent to the VP hex, he's now going to adjust, and he can reach that hex as well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just as easily. He's going to adjust to that hex. I've realised I've not turned my units again. I should just maybe give up with this one and accept the fact it's not going to. But there was something come up in the last impulse, wasn't there? That I wanted to know if the unit had moved and whatever. Oh, I can't remember. Right, well, I think he's going to adjust to there. So, well, once these videos get out there, you guys are going to see them and tell me that I'm totally getting this all wrong, or, yeah, if I don't hear anything, or maybe if you want to comment and say, yeah, that's right, that's what you do, then that would be good too. Hopefully it's that way and not the not the format there. Okay, so 23 is next. So, yes. Okay, so he can reach here as well. And however, he can reach here, which I'm hoping it doesn't happen. And just in case I'm not allowed to target them. Yeah, something feels a bit odd about doing it, you know. The fact that this one has a bit of both kind of tells you that it makes you feel comfortable enough to do it, but... okay. So between the two, well, we're looking to be adjacent to the least German strength. I think that's what's going to come to, isn't it? This is movement method 2. So, and then the preference is to find which VP hex we're wanting to target. And we've got targeted exclusively by the active front. Well, both of them are not, although it makes me want to sway towards this one. Because I feel safer about that, and that I've not got, you know, I'm okay about that one. B is occupied by the least German strength. Oh well, we're getting away with this again. But please somebody tell me if I shouldn't be able to be targeting Chugayev here, because it's the southwest front. I'm not really reading that and seeing that, but it could be that it's one of the things that that's kind of common sense, maybe, or, you know, I'm just looking too much into it. So this has the least amount of strength, so that one's not considered anymore. 23 now, again, he's going to go 1, 2 into there. He is going to look to adjust again with 9.25, adjusting round this second SS unit. He cannot surround a hex not occupied by or adjacent to a Soviet unit. Both of these would be that, so he needs to move on. An empty or garrison hex, okay, good stuff. So he goes to the empty hex, right? And he's happy with that. Right, and then finally, 26. Well, he can go there and there again. But he's going to prefer this again because of the strength thing. So let's just, I've got a wee cube there anyway, so let's put that there. Must have left that behind. 1, 2, 3, 4. So he goes in there. And I don't think we'll adjust, although this could be the bit where we're sort of in limbo a bit about how we're meant to deal with it. No surround, not adjacent, not empty. A hex not occupied by an active unit. Well, both are. So that leaves us either settling on that hex or try to tie break it. Closest to unit's objective marker, they would both be as close. An empty hex, none of them are empty. Hex furthest in the compass direction. Well, we're getting away with this every time, but surely this is not going to go like this every time. Because this is westernmost between these two, so it is in the right hex. I just feel like, well, I don't know, maybe it's just, that's the way it works. I don't know. Right, okay, so that's everything been checked, innit? So these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units haven't moved by movement method 2 yet, so we need to see what they're going to do. Right, so movement method 3 next, only happens from turn 3 onwards. Movement methods 4 to 9, it's all turns 1 to 2, so these are spearhead units. I don't think we've got any that are in towns or cities, no. That's Izium there, so yeah, no. No. Okay, so none of them are going to operate with turn movement methods 4 to 9. So we're going to jump straight to movement method 10. Is that right? Yeah, 1 to 2. I think it changes up a bit come turn 3. It's just the armoured units that skip. Something like that. Right. So number 10 is follow movement arrows in ascending order. Okay, unlikely. Well, he's not able to. They're not going to be able. Yeah, none of that happening. They're all pretty much adjacent to German units. So 11 is move closest to the front objective. Move to a hex closer to the front objective, not the same distance, and prefer the hex closest. And then adjacent to German unit with a low strength. Okay, I'm going in ascending order again. So unit 1. Okay, well I need to bring his front objective marker into the picture here. And where is it? There we go. Right, so you can see he's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 away. So I reckon he could get closer. Is he going to open anything up there though? Yeah, he might well be. I think if he moves away from there, we might get access to, well, not only Izium, but Sylvansk as well. Yeah, let's just leave a cube there and just have a quick look. I think if we move him, that's 1, 2, 3 because it's breaking zone of control. 4, 5, 6. Well, isn't that any closer though, Grant? Yeah, it probably is. What did I say it was? 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so he's 6 from there, but you can see he's going to be breaking restrictions there, aren't he? This unit can now go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into there, or 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, maybe can't get to Sylvansk, but he can get to Izium. Okay, but could this unit maybe not reach? Just go 1, 2, 3. That's not going to be close to 1, 2, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, he's 7 away if he moves into Izium, so maybe that's what he's going to do. Yeah, I actually think that's what he might do, yeah? He's 8 away there. And he's 7 away there. And he's not... There's nothing proximate to Izium, because obviously the unit's sitting in it. He's got 1 hex closer to his army objective, his front objective. Yeah, and he can't move any further, because if he moves any further, then this unit's going to be proximate to... And so Vance, there's not a gap here. You can see there's only 2... Sorry, maybe put that up a bit. There's 2 hexes there, so this unit cannot go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 into Sylvan's, because he would be moving adjacent to zone of control, and same by going into there, he can't get through. So yeah. Now he's not moving adjacent to a German unit, so no, he wasn't surrounding either, no. So just have a quick look at the restrictions again. Right, I'm wondering, the only other possibility is he maybe could go in here. That one wasn't closer, but that one's going to be as close, so that could be an and it's adjacent to a German unit as well. Yeah, right. Let me adjust that then. So you can actually go 1, 2, 3, 4 into there and not break a restriction, and you could actually go 1, 2, 3 and back into there for 4, and there's not a gap. This unit can't come around. So there's 2 options there, and this is move closer. Yeah, they prefer closest 2. Well, I think they're both the same. 1, 2, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, they're both the same. And then the next one's adjacent to German occupied hex with a wee strength. So in actual fact, he is going to go there. Yeah. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3, breaking zone of control, 4 back into there. Now he's moved from there. That was not where he's going to go. Now, because he's moved adjacent to German unit, or units, please don't tell me he's going to move back to where he was. Surely that not happen. What's around support? It's not adjacent to a Soviet unit. Aye. Right, well, there you go. It is. Right, because 9.25D is a hex not occupied by or adjacent to a Soviet unit. This is adjacent to a Soviet unit. This was his other possible hex adjacent to these units, which he's just moved from. And it's not adjacent or occupied by a Soviet unit. How does that one work, guys? I don't know. I looked at the possibility of this happening. I mentioned it before about you could end up adjusting back to the hex that he's came from. And I don't know if there's a problem with that or not. I mean, that's his preferential hex. But you know, should something say within the rules here that when you're looking at 2 German units, you need to be able to decide between the 2. Something should decide in the rules to say what German unit you're looking at 9.25 around. Because in this situation, well, they've both got the same strength. John Brown's idea was you take the lowest strength. So they've both got the same strength. Could it not be, and I know this could be far too complicated, but the fact that this unit was getting into this hex, getting closer to his objective, and then being told, no, 9.25 tells you you're going to have to move back to this hex, should something not override that and say, no, you'd actually do stay there? adjacent to this German German unit. I don't know. I think something's going to come out. Something's going to have to happen. Well, how are you going to deal with that one then, Grant? I mean, well, I don't know. I guess if I just strictly look at the rules and the way it's done, then yeah, because I wasn't tie breaking there, was I? This was only hex. No, I was tie breaking between these two. Well, I wasn't tie breaking. I was preferencing between the two, and this one turns out to be adjacent to the least strength German units, where this one is adjacent to no German units. Oh, wait a minute. No, surely not. Yeah, adjacent to a German occupied hex with least strength. I was starting to think there that there's no strength around around this one, but no, that does say a German occupied hex with a least strength. So that's where the hex was, and then 9.25 says, well, you're adjacent to this unit, so that one tells you. Yeah, I'm going to put it back there just now because, yeah, like I say, I think there's things need to happen here. I need to show these videos to you and let me know what you think, and hopefully John will come and see some of the questions I've been putting out there regarding this and get it sorted so that we can have a much more less scratching of the head with things like that. I mean, I'm not knocking it, and these things are going to come to light, but I just I'd like to know how to do it properly, that's all. Right, well, that's him done, isn't it? So what are we? We're on, yeah. Move closest to front objective. Right, who's next? Unit 4. Okay, so Unit 4. I think he's got 2 choices round here. Yeah, there's no gap shoot him if he moves, is there? I thought at first there might be, but doesn't look like there is. So he can go 1, 2, breaking zone and control, 3, 4, and either 5 into there or 4, 5, 6 into there. And these are both, at the moment he's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 away, and these are both 5 away. So 2 choices. They are both adjacent to German units. And they're both as close as you can get to the front objective. So empty hex, yeah, empty hex is the winner, isn't it? So, well, it's the winner at the moment. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He came from there. So that's a move into there. He did have 2 possible choices that were going to be adjacent to this German unit. So 9.25. I think the fact it's the empty hex is still going to deal with that. And why I need to keep looking at it, I don't know. It's really, well, you can see some of the things that are coming up. I'm like moving guys back to, so I've got to try and keep my head straight with it. Surround. No. No, we've not got surround, no. And a hex not adjacent, well, a hex not occupied by or adjacent to a Soviet unit. That would be occupied by, that would be adjacent to a Soviet unit. An empty garrison hex, well, there you go, that's him. He's happy there. So, and no restriction, well, we said no restrictions broken. It's looking a little risky, but yeah, I mean, I can move into there. I can't get into Izium. I can move into there or there, but I can't get into the town. So, okay, moving on. That was Unit 4. We've got 13, 17, and 18. So 13 looks like he's going to be able to get closer. Well, and possibly 17 as well, but I think 18 might be tied in, because I think it would open things up too much. So let's see where 13 can go. Okay, now that looks like the two choices for 13. He can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and either there or there. So he's got two options. Yeah, it's going to be adjacent to the German unit again, isn't it? So they're both as close. They're both 3 away from their east front objective marker. And then adjacent to German occupied hex with a wee strength, well, that's going to be here. So that's where he's going to go, and that's not going to be an option. Hang on. Was it? Is this 13? Yeah. So hang on a sec. So 1, 2, breaking zone of control, 3, 4, 5, 6. But he's adjacent to this German unit, so these two hexes are possible options for surround. No, neither of them will surround. A hex not occupied by or adjacent to a Soviet unit. Both of them would be that. They'd both be adjacent. And then an empty or garrison hex. Well, both of them are empty. Hex not occupied by an active unit. So we're not finding any with 9.25, which kind of makes me want to feel like you just leave the guy where he's went. But if we looked at tiebreakers, there you go. Closest to unit's objective. Maybe it does take care of it. So this is closer than this. So that's where he's going. Right, and then 17, well, 17's only infantry. However, I'm sure he can still get closer. Yeah, no, he can't get closer. He's right on the line. So he's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away as it is. If he goes in and out into here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the furthest he can get round is 1, 2, breaking zone of control, 3, 4. And this is still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away. Yeah, you need to get into that hex there. 1, 2, 3, yeah, he can't, yeah. So he can't get closer. Yeah, there's no point looking the other way. Right, okay, we move on to 18. 17 can 18. Well, I think if 18 moves, he's going to open things up, though, isn't he? Well, let's have a look. Well, he can get one hex closer to his objective by moving into these two hexes. But let's just move this guy. Well, let's just take him out of the equation and have a look. Yeah, that's breaking restriction now. Right, the terrain's a bit tricky though. Hang on, Grant. Because that's 1, 2. No, that's 5. Yeah, no, you can just do it. So that's 5 to move into there, and that's 1 into there. Because it's 2 across there, 3 into the woods for the mech unit, 5, and then 6. And because he's not there, there's not a zone of control stopping that from happening. So yeah, he's not. It doesn't matter, even if he moves. Oops. That. Even if he moves into there, that happens. Yeah, so he's got to stay there to keep this. Yeah, there's going to be a gap if he moves. Okay, so he can't get closer without breaking restriction. Okay, that's the last the unit. So we've only got 2 more units, 2 units that haven't moved yet, and only 1 more. Movement method 12. If not adjacent to a German unit, move to a hex adjacent to a German unit to which another active Soviet unit is also adjacent. A unit starting adjacent to a German unit does not move by this method. Well, they're both, and this is a sender order as well, they're both starting adjacent to this unit. So this guy's going to move, say that, he's not going to move. However, he could adjust. And 1, 2, 3, Yeah, the only hex he can adjust to is that, so I don't think that's going to happen, is it? It's not surrounding. They're both going to be. They're both going to be occupied. Well, that wouldn't be adjacent, that one, because that guy would move into there, but it'd be occupied by it, so that covers that one this time. Yeah, an empty hex. So he's in an empty hex, so he's staying where he is. Then this guy is already adjacent, so he goes like he's not going to move. Now he could. Well, he's not going to go in here because this is not an empty hex. He's in an empty hex, but he could potentially go into there, couldn't he? 1, 2, 3, 4. So, it's not going to surround. No, it's not surrounding. Not adjacent to us. There you go. Then he is going to adjust then. Because he can adjust and be in a hex not occupied by or adjacent to a Soviet unit if he moves into here. Whereas if he stays where he is, he's adjacent to a Soviet unit. So he will go 1, 2, breaking zone of control, 3, 4. He's still adjacent to the same German unit. And just adjusted into a better hex. Looks like it makes sense. It's flanking this unit rather than attacking from adjacent hexes, so makes sense, yeah? Okay, right, that's all movement done, so let's just press on and check to see if there's going to be any combat. So attack checks. Where are we? We've got a unit 1, haven't we? Well, I think we looked at this guy before though, didn't we? And whether he should have just stayed in the same hex that he was in, maybe somebody will point me to something that says no, that shouldn't happen, Grant. But we'll go with that for now. So he's got 6 against 4, but it's 6 against 5, so it's 1-to-1 odds. Yeah, because he's got a unit adjacent, that's him giving him +1, so 1-to-1 odds. I don't think this happens. So the cards are 3. It's not 2-to-1. It's not in the barrage zone. No, just outside, yeah. It's in support, that's 4. Only Soviet units have armour? No, they've both got armour, I think. Yeah, I think that's going to... I'm sure this guy checked this guy already. If flanking will apply, or defender will be surrounded. And remember, there's no reserves, there's no auxiliary card, no flanking, no surround, no target hex, BP hex 2 or greater, no combat tactics in the auxiliary. Yeah, it's sitting at 4. They're going to need more. They're going to need better odds to have a combat here, I think. So who would be next? Do we not have a 4 somewhere? Yeah. What is this? 23 and 26, right, okay. So, and remember, there can't be one-step units to be a lead unit. Right, he's unit 4's, right, this is the one that, yeah, this is the one that could happen. In fact, I think it's going to happen because we've got 5 and 3, we've got 8 against 2. So, which is 8 against 2, Howard's getting a +1. He's got adjacent supplied unit. Yep. So, it's 8 against 3. So, it's not going to be a guarantee then. All attackers across, no. Yeah, so 8 against 3 is not 3-to-1. So it's between 1-to-1 and 3-to-1. Yeah, it's 2 and a bit to 1, isn't it? But it is the 2-to-1, so that will give a boost to the tactical value check. So the cards are 3, as we know. And the situational strength ratio is greater than 2-to-1. So that's a +2 for that this time. So that's up to a 5. And they've got armour. Yeah, okay, this might happen. Well, hang on, I'm jumping one. I'm gonna... No artillery barrage, no. It's in support, yes, that's a 6. Yeah, and then they've got armour, so that's a 7. Yeah, so this is going to happen, that. Attacking units surrounded. Attacking units surrounded, no. A flanking will apply, well, it won't. Defender will surrounded, no. Combat tactics, no. But that's 7. So 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that is going to happen. Just the 7. Damn it. Okay. Well, let's see. Let's get this going then. So we've got 8 to 2, so 4-1 odds. 8 to 2, 4-1 odds. Only 2 units, so only 2 chip pools. No artillery barrage zone. Yeah, I feel like this is going through quite quick, and I'm just worried I'm missing something. With no reserves, no auxiliary card. Yeah, I think so. 8 to 2, 4-1 odds. Yeah. Good thing we've got a defender adjacent here. Only 1 step though. So, although we've got a safe retreatable hex, so that's good too. Right, okay, so we're going to draw a combat tactic for this. So 4-1 odds with 2 chip pools and Stavka. That could probably be good. In some ways. So intelligence, air power, and reinforced battle. Okay. Intelligence, air power, and reinforced battle. Right. Yeah. Well, let's look at them in that order then. Intelligence. On a Soviet attack, the Soviet command value is considered to be a 5. So if any chips we draw, obviously, it could affect that. You can't play combat tactics to aid German defence. So, well, that takes that out of the equation. I don't think it was anyway. If the printed Soviet CV is 4 or 5, increase German hits by 1. Well, it's not, it's a 3. So that wasn't too bad, to be honest. And the fact that I probably wasn't playing a combat tactic. Right, air power, well, we know what that does. Reinforced battle, however, I'm looking at the 6 army units. And these guys here, what are they bringing? Ooh, 8 strength. Okay, so let's check. Reinforced battle. Select an active or inactive on map Soviet unit stack that could reach the combat in a single movement to participate in the combat. A unit stack is eligible if it is in the same front as the defending or attacking unit and did not move or attack in the current activation, and is not adjacent to an active German unit. Well, that's not going to happen because they're the only active units. Movement restrictions of 9.23 apply. Does not apply if no Soviet units are eligible to reinforce. Okay. So on Soviet attack, the unit stack moves adjacent to the hex under attack if not already there and may split up. Obey stacking limits and the tactical adjustments of 9.25. Oh goody. If more than one stack can reach the combat, prefer A, the stack that will cause surround, B, the stack with the greatest strength, C, the stack with the lowest numbered unit. Reinforcing units can't advance their combat. Okay. So, well, it's probably only the 6th army units here. In fact, it's the 2 units there, and that's that, I think. Because all the Popov units are active and moved. And it's got to be from the same front, isn't it? Yeah, so we can't look at 3rd tank units coming up here. And the first guards are too far away. So, and these stacks are maybe not actually. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, right. So all 3 of these stacks could be the one, but I mean this one's got 8 strength, so you're not telling me it's not going to be this one. Well, what were the If more than one stack can reach the combat, prefer A, the stack that will cause surround. Well, none of that. No, we can't get surround on that Rouse unit. B, the stack with the greatest strength. Okay, that's it. Sorry, because this was 5, wasn't it? Yeah, and this is 8. Right, so they're going to come together. Now, a base stacking limits and the tactical adjustments of 9.25. Okay, right, I didn't read anything about how they would approach the hex, but I'm going to assume it's in ascending order, because well, hang on, because it says they can split up. Does that matter, Grant? Are they not just going to go there and then adjust? Ooh, I'm not sure. Well, what hexes can they reach? It's going to reach the 3 hexes, aren't they? Right, so they can reach the 3 hexes adjacent to the unit. Now, it says they can split up as well, so... Right just now, with 9.25, they're going to go for this empty hex. But the fact they can split up, they'll just put them both in that hex. Apply to Soviet units moving via the reinforced battle combat tactic during a Soviet attack. I want to feel like I kind of should move them individually, and because it's this whole stack that's going to reinforce. Does it really matter here, Grant? I don't think it does it? They clearly go for the empty hex. I mean, they can't surround. They're not going to end in a hex that's not occupied by or adjacent to a Soviet unit. No. And then well, they're in support. And sorry, I missed that one. An empty or garrisoned hex. So it's just that once Unit 3 reaches there, then there's not an empty or garrison hex, and it makes me wonder that maybe Unit 4 should be considered to go to another hex, possibly. Well, that's not to say that it can't still. I'm going to take that away, and I forgot to turn my guys round again. Give it up, Grant. Well, yeah, they're coming in too. Okay. So, Unit 3 arrives there, an empty hex. So, would Unit 4 move anyone else? I think he would just... A hex not occupied by an active unit. That's interesting. Because... I think I'm right in saying that these units aren't active. Mind you, that's ringing a bell. Give me a second. No, it was something else. Just one of Martin's questions to John Butterfield. I know it's about Soviet soul. However, I'll tell you what, I've seen something there that's quite interesting. I'll maybe just catch that. Let's just get this finished though while I know what I'm doing here. So I guess what I'm saying here is if these do move individually in Unit 3, well, it doesn't matter if they move individually or not. They both move to an empty hex. They could both adjust. I don't know. I'm not quite sure how that works, the timing of that. Are they there or what? So they're wanting to move to an empty hex, but however, the second one is going to find that it's not an empty hex. Maybe they just move together in the empty hex. Well, if that's the case, fair enough. If not, the preference F would kick in here, because They're adjacent to a German unit, and they're looking for a hex not occupied by an active unit. No, I'm talking rubbish, Grant. Yeah, a hex not occupied by an active unit. Ah, right, sorry. I'm not reading that properly. Well, that tends to mean they'll stay together then. Yeah, because I don't think these are classed as active units because they just reinforce the battle. Okay, that makes things easier then. And they both do. And if they do come in individually, 3 will come in there first, and then 4 will also come in there, although it's not an empty hex. It'll come in there because it's joining a hex not occupied by an active unit. Okay, I'm good with that. Let's get rid of these cubes and let's get this sorted out because we're now into an hour. Who would have thought? 8, 12, 16. Well, another 2 chip pools. So we're now up to 8 to 1. Yeah, that's going to be an overwhelming attack now. But however, we've drawn. Yeah. So if we did have an auxiliary car combat tactic, we wouldn't be using it. Right. How many combat tactics are they getting here? So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then intelligence. Sorry, just looking at the intelligence, air power, arm reinforced battle. So that's another 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 7. Ew, yuck! I don't fancy this guy's chances now. It wasn't too bad a minute ago. Was it 41 and 2 chip pools? It started. Yeah, it's got a bit worse than that now, isn't it? Okay. Right, and I can't play a card. The other part of intelligence didn't do anything though, did it? Right, okay. Right, let's draw 7 chips then. Now got these 6 army units down there as well, which is concerning. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it was right. I think it's all right. Right, let's get 7 chips then. Okay, that's a nasty start. D2 with 71, it's up here. Okay. Well, city or attack not supported, time woods are broken on the back, so it doesn't apply, it's a clear hex. There's combat engineers and disperse on supplies, so it doesn't apply either. Well, we got a nice clear city woods on the front and a clear on the back with just an A1 hit, so yeah, well, I still don't fancy my chances to be honest, but only 3 to go though, so yeah, 5 to 1. Both these were large attack on the front side, but the priority is obviously that's the thing about having the high odds, and I mean the large attack would have eventually happened anyway, but anyway. Okay, so 2 to go. We're sitting at D3. That's toast, isn't it, for us? 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So we still got a chance at D-1. We do have a defender adjacent. So anyway, 2 to go. Combat engineers again. Dispersants applied on the other side. So 1 to go. We need a -1. Nah, and unfortunately we get air power, and that's a bit of a bummer because yeah, well, it's going to soak up the hit to them as well, so they're not going to take a hit now because of the unfulfilled hits. Okay, so result as 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's D5 and A1. That's 7 chips drawn. Yeah, D5 and A1. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so I mean, the one good thing about that is we got rid of the Stavka card got used there, which is probably quite nice. So, anyway, this guy's toast, isn't he? He's not able to soak up anything, so he goes retreat. Step well. So it's only D3 to eliminate him, leaving 2 hits unfulfilled. So he gets eliminated. Yeah, an eliminated units box. And the 2 hits that are left unfulfilled, I'll avoid the Soviets taking a hit as well. So, yeah. So advance after combat, the 6 army units can't advance, remember, because they are brought in with reinforced battle. So we have Unit 4 Unit 4, it's a secondary arrow that way, so no path of retreat, remember, because the unit was eliminated. Route of advance, it's not primary, it's not a VP, it's not primary. Hex enabling supply, no. Cross river, secondary direction it is, and it was an auto advance, so he auto advances into there. What's these restrictions again? There's not enough of what, is there? Don't cause German proximity to, yeah, VP Hex. Mech units can't have anti-marsh. And then from 3+ and 6+ are the other ones. So yeah, nothing really. They have no fear really. Not enough of what anyway. He's not going to be able to make a second Hex advance at all. Well, the only option is going to be back from where he came. Which is a whole lot of nothing. It's another route, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, it is another route, so he wouldn't advance. And then the infantry, well, might advance. It's his primary arrow. So one unit already advanced. Is he going to be open? No, he's not, is he? No, because this guy's now surrounded. So he'll advance on a 1 to 6, because one unit's already advanced into there. And it's just 6. So he will advance as well into there. And he was infantry, so no choice of a second Hex advance. Yeah, okay. Like I say, the other guys came in with reinforced battle. Right, moving on quickly-ish. Unit 13 would be the next one to check. He's on his own against 7 strength. 3 against 7. I'm not even going to go there. That's not going to happen. Unit 18 would be next. Oh, he's worth a look, isn't he? This guy doesn't have a guy adjacent. Oh, of course, that was his adjacent, wasn't it? Right, so it's 3 against 2, however, hang on, he's coming across the river as well, isn't he? So it's 3 against 2, but he's getting a +1 for the IP, so it's 3 against 3, and he's getting a +1 because they're all attackers across the river, so it's 3 against 4, so that's less than 1 to 1. So that's not going to happen as well. Final one to check. Now hang on, these are all 1-step units, aren't they? Yeah. That's interesting then. That means we cannot have a lead unit there. That's right, isn't it? Yeah. Unit with 1 step or on VP Hex with less than 3 steps can't lead against supplied target. Well, as a supplied target, so yeah, and they're all 1-step units, so none of them can be the lead unit, so none of them can do that check. Yeah? I think so. Yeah. Okay, so just to finish off, everything's moved, isn't it? Because remember, we can bounce back to reserves now, but it's only if they've not moved or attack. Every unit has had a move, and that's what I was talking about adjusting them to make sure that they're well. You see, yeah, here we go. Hang on a second. Well, this guy moved and then moved back. And I think this guy done something, well, he didn't move back, but he done something similar. Right, what was the movement method? Well, he looked at movement method 12, I'm sure. So a unit starting adjacent to a German unit does not move by this method. See, that's not saying it's moved. The other ones that say, and I had issues with something similar to this in Ardennes, so a Soviet unit starting adjacent to a qualifying German unit stat does not move by this or any subsequent method. So that's saying that they do not move. But I remember the equivalent of this in Ardennes, and then I eventually got the question answered. Does that mean that they count as having moved? And the answer was yes back then, but this feels a bit different, doesn't it? Right, so removing Soviet units to reserves. And this is what I'm trying to establish, that if any of these units could be considered to be removed to the reserves. The unit did not move or attack this activation. The unit is adjacent to a German unit. Supply can be traced from the unit's hex. The unit was not placed on the map from the reserves. Removal of the unit would not cause Soviet unit to become nearly surrounded. See, not one of them is kind of telling me, and that is why, I've turned these guys round to say that they moved. I think this was one of them. I'm sure he was like that and he was active, and I said, right, he's not moving, but he's just going to turn around like that, and then he adjust. Oh, he did adjust. He did, didn't he? He moved into the woods. So, surely that does mean he's moved. And this guy, what this guy done was move and adjust back. So, okay, I'm going to have to find out a bit more about that one. Possibly going to post a question on that. If a unit is, maybe not movement method 12, because it seems a bit clearer. Well, are they not all just as clear, Grant, really? If it says unit does not move by this or any subsequent method, that means they're not moved. But I do seem to remember the same question, and then I was surprised by the answer was that they were classed as being that they had done something. It could be that it was worded differently though, back in Ardennes. Okay, never mind. Well, any thoughts on that? What I'm talking about there, guys? Please let me know. I think I'm probably going to ask a question about it anyway. So that is finally the Soviet Impulse over. We did get rid of that Stavka car. That was nice. Right, now in 12 minutes. Right, just before I go, that question, one of the questions that Martin had asked for Mr. Butterfield, I just want to have a look at that just before we go. I'll need to get the Soviet Solo book out. I know it's a different game, but it's kind of related, maybe. Right, I don't know if this will make any sense to you, but I'm just going to read this question out. It's not really the same, but it's sounding similar. So Martin's question was, and it's regarding, I know it's a different rule book, 10.14, action step 8, which says in ascending order, if not adjacent to a Soviet unit, move to a hex closer to the nearest Soviet unit. And then the hex selection preferences are A, adjacent to Soviet unit, and this is one of the ones that we went to, because as soon as you hit adjacent to Soviet unit, you then ignore the rest of the preferences, and this is what Martin's asked. Martin's saying, as soon as the unit moves adjacent by following preference A, adjacent to Soviet unit, it should ignore the rest of the preferences and skip to 10.54. So if there are more than one Soviet unit closest, which is the next, no, sorry, it's not the next preference, because as what I just read, if not adjacent to the Soviet, move to a hex closer to the nearest Soviet unit. So what Martin's saying is, if there's two that are just as close, we're not getting to preference them because we're moving straight to 10.54. And he's saying, so if there are more than one Soviet unit closest, the preferences of 10.54 rather than 10.14 will determine which Soviet unit to move adjacent to. And then he's got correct question mark. And John's come back saying this is an interesting one. In a situation where the German unit could move adjacent to more than one Soviet unit, you would switch to 10.54, using those preferences to determine the Soviet target unit based on which 10.54 preference is the first to apply to only one of the potential target units. So, and I know it's a wee bit different to what I'm saying about moving adjacent to more than one German unit in this game, but in some ways it's making me think that you would look at them all and go accordingly to what, and it's not 10.54, it's 9.25, but you know what I mean. Anyway, okay, I'm sure we'll find more about it as things move on. Yeah, so yeah, quite a few things come up tonight, and yeah, it's been a bit of a long, hard day with us, really, but I suppose there's worse things I could have been doing, you know, working and the likes, so it's maybe not been that hard, but yeah, I was getting frustrated earlier on when I just, and I've not got this right, and it was just a knock-on effect to things as well, and then I tried to fix it and realised that there was something else, and anyway, most of it you wouldn't have seen. I think, I don't know, it was maybe only 30, 40, well, there was 30 minutes of something cut out of the second bit of part 14, and then I started another 10 minutes before I realised I had to shut the tile in and start again, really. So yeah, it probably was 40, 45 minutes or so. It's just nonsense, basically. Right, okay, I'll get this tidied up. Please let me know about any of these things that have come up. There's quite a few questions I'd like to, you know, the whole front objective thing. You know, these units moving away around here, and you know, again, I'm just looking at the rules. Feel like it's by the rules. Maybe how these reinforced battle units came in. Did they come in together? I mean, it says they can split up. Is that just to cater for like stacking, or how did they come in? Did they come in selector order and then you 9.25 them? And then would this unit have went to here and then stepped back to where he was? And then, of course, probably the final one there is, if a unit doesn't move but it's said it won't move, is it still counted? Is it still capable of being bounced back to the reserves? You know what? You know, I think I'm going to have to ask that as a question, because yeah, okay, right, okay. Well, that's part 15 to a close. I get the feeling I'm due for an error. I've not heard much from anybody recently, so I'm getting the feeling that, well, I've got part 13 partly watched, and I've got 14, which, like I say, was kind of stitched together in a bit of a mess, and now this is 15, so I probably need to get them out to you, and then we'll see if there's any errors or any kind of feedback at all. Right, guys, I better get away. That's the end of me for tonight, I think. Well, yeah, probably back tomorrow. Let's see, I've got a lot of time off just now, so okay, back tomorrow sometime. Cheers.